Paolo di Canio and Swindon look like a match made in heaven.
Beautiful goal!
In his first season in charge, they stormed to the League Two title. And in his second, they're right in the thick of the race for automatic promotion.
Well, it's his night, isn't it? All smiles, Swindon!
But in the last few weeks, things have turned sour. New owners meant the club have avoided administration, but Di Canio says starman Matt Ritchie was sold behind his back. Then deals to sign 3 players collapsed. He says promises have been broken and the terms of his contract have been breached. And in a statement released yesterday, he says he's now considering his position, describing it as not just impossible, but also untenable. He has arrived to take charge of Swindon today, but his future remains very uncertain. Here's what the fans have made of the last 24 hours.
Can't blame him, really, for feeling like that, you know, the way he's been treated. It's just really unfair.
I think he's done brilliant, not just for Swindon Town Football Club, for Swindon Town itself.
Paolo wants to stay. He loves the club, he loves the fans.
To walk away now, I think it wouldn't do him any favours. I don't think he wants to.
It'd be a very sad day if Paolo di Canio walks.
I don't know any Swindon supporter who wants Paolo to go.
So the fans, as you might expect, fully behind their manager, and after an extraordinary few weeks in the history of Swindon Town Football Club, the story does continue here at Broadfield Stadium this evening. Live in Empire League One, it's Crawley Town against Swindon Town. Both teams will be paying particularly close attention to the 10 results from League One this afternoon. What a win for Bury by 2-0. A first win in 10 for them. A first defeat for Brian Flynn, 2-0 winners. Hartlepool, important win for them. The bottom side, 7 defeats in a row at home. They finally get a win, beating Notts County by 2-1. MK Dons' worrying form continues. They've now lost 5 of 8, going down by 3-0 at home to Bournemouth. It's just 1 loss in 19 for Eddie Howe's side. The worries continue at Fratton Park, going down by 3-2 at home to Colchester. After 9 defeats in a row, it's 2 wins in a row for Colchester, 7 defeats in a row for Portsmouth. Elsewhere, the top side Tranmere, who beat Carlisle 3-0 in August, losing by a goal and nil today. Akbar Akpro sent off in the first half. Rory Loy with the winner for Carlisle on 44 minutes. And Brentford, 2-2 draw against Chelsea in the FA Cup last week. 3-0 defeat today against Yeovil, who've now made it 5 wins in a row. So Tranmere remain top, level on points with Doncaster. Swindon, no win here tonight, will cut the gap on the top 2 to just 3 points and move them up into third. Crewe and Walsall on the move in the top half of the table. For Crawley, well, they find themselves down in 14th ahead of kick-off, but a win here tonight would take them just 4 points off the playoff positions. Portsmouth and Hartlepool remain rooted to the bottom. Bury move within a point of Oldham in 20th. Well, the headlines have certainly followed Paolo di Canio right throughout his career, and today he is back on the back pages. He says his future remains clouded with uncertainty, but for the time being at least, he remains in charge of Swindon Town, and it's a tough test tonight against fellow promotion chasers Crawley Town. Delighted to say the former Swindon manager, Danny Wilson, now of course Sheffield United manager, is alongside me. It's never quiet with Paolo di Canio, is it? What have you made of the last 24 hours?
Well, it's difficult to understand really what's going on behind the scenes. I think it's only what we see in the press at this moment in time, but it's obviously unstable, and Paolo feels himself that he's mentioned this very strong words, untenable, in his position. So he's obviously feeling very strong about the situation that's developed. But like I said, we only see what we in the papers and the media reports. We're not really privy to what's actually going on behind the scenes.
Well, he makes that, as you said, very strongly worded statement last night, and he uses words, as you said, like untenable, and saying that there's been a breach of his contract. Is there any way back when you said those kind of things so publicly?
Well, is there? I don't think there's much way back in. If I'm quite honest, I think that it really depends on the people that's come in and how they've seen it. There's Paolo coming in now.
He doesn't look phased, does he? He doesn't look.
Well, he doesn't.
Although he's got the sunglasses on, so you can't tell what his eyes are doing.
That's very true, I have to say. But I think we saw shots of him before, sat in the dugout on his own, and maybe contemplating what his next move will be. But it'll be quite interesting as well the reaction the players have today in regards to the situation that's developing, because they're in a very good position in the league, and they don't want anything that's going to destabilise them at the moment.
Well, let's get a word then with the Swindon Town manager now, Paolo di Canio. Plenty more to talk about, but let's hear from him now. He's with Jonathan Oakes.
Paolo, you issued a statement last night to say
No, I don't talk about statement. Today I'm talking about only my team and the game. My statement was out, so it's is clear. So I don't want to talk about statement. Today, the most important thing is the game and talking about my players.
Could this be your last game as Swindon manager, though?
No, why? I'm a Swindon manager. Talking about my team, the game is very important because obviously if we win today, we are very close to the top. So that is the priority for me today, thinking about to do my best as usual next to my players for the cause.
Are you and the players focused on this game, considering everything that's gone on in the last few days?
Yeah, obviously. We are completely focused. Obviously, when there is something strange around, something can distract you, but it's not for my players because they prove to me that they are absolutely focused. They are amazing professional. Even today, we are traveling only in 17 because we have some problem. We can't get in 18. And for players, they contracted yesterday, you know, the virus, but they wanted to stay here because they fully committed for the cause. So that may make me more, not more than happy, proud, because I don't have any doubt about their professionalism. So today we are going, as usual, to try to play for win the game.
Have your feelings been brewing for some time, or is it the sale of Matt Ritchie this week that really pushed you?
I have other players in here. I'm thinking about my player. I don't want to talk about something different than the team and then my players.
Do you hope it's not your last match as Swindon manager?
I don't have to open nothing. I'm a Swindon manager, so I'm in here for work. I don't even think about that. Today, for me, the priority is to win the game and try to stay closer to the top because what we have achieved until today is something amazing, thanks to my players. And today we can do even special, more special jobs. So we try to win today. We are focused completely for this game.
All the best, Paolo. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
But Danny, in truth, how difficult will it be, particularly for the players, to focus when all this is going on behind the scenes and now very publicly as well?
Well, the players, as we always say, you just get on with the job. You know, they don't take a great deal of notice of what's going on behind the scenes. But it will be obviously grating on Paolo's mind. You know, and you saw there he's trying to be very professional in his approach and trying to focus completely on the team, which is right. You know, but you know, there is obviously something going on in the background, and I'm sure in the days to come we'll find it possibly a little bit more.
He's often out of the dugout before things get underway, looking at the warm-up of his players, but it all seems to centre on Matt Ritchie. He's ended up at Bournemouth, an integral part of the Swindon success story, 9 assists in League One this season. I mean, he didn't want to go, but business is business. Have you ever been in a situation where a player has been sold behind your back against your will?
No, I haven't. No, we've had players sold that we didn't want to sell, but we understand the situations, and I think that, you know, that can be acceptable. You know, that you know, the chairman comes around and says, listen, this is the situation. You know, like a lumpet, it's up to you. But at least you know about the situation. If Paolo didn't know about the player going, and if it was done behind his back, then I think that would grate any manager in the league.
And they can move to within 3 points of the top two if they get a win here tonight.
Yeah.
Is there enough quality in this squad to ride this out?
Yes, there is. I think he's bought very well, very wisely over since the promotion last season. He's acquired some very good players here. You know, and they will miss Matt Ritchie. He's a very good player, I have to say, and I had him at Swindon as a player, so I know firsthand what he's like, and they will miss him. But I think they have got players in the team that can compensate for that.
Dugouts very close together here. What's it like to be in an opposing dugout when Di Canio's in the other one?
He was fine with that. Yeah, this year it was fine. It was very amicable, no problem whatsoever. But yeah, he's a passionate man.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that, you know, you have to have a turn of thought that just let him get on with it. You know, if it doesn't affect you, you're trying to look after your own team. You know, and possibly if it's starting to affect the other dugout, he's maybe winning the battle. But you just try and keep calm and just concentrate on your own job.
Well, he certainly won the battle against Crawley Town in recent games. Last 3 league games, they've won by 3-0. But Crawley know this evening if they get a win, they're within 4 points of those playoff places. Let's hear from Richie Barker. He's with Jonathan Oakes.
Well, Richie, your first game in 3 weeks, 3 debutants today as well. Do you know what to expect from your team today?
Probably not, no. I know what I'd like to expect, but you know, when you talk about form, you talk about over the last 3 or 4 weeks. Well, we haven't got any because we haven't played. So I'd like to think that they're fresh and full of enthusiasm, and the rest will take care of itself.
Lots of unrest at Swindon in the last few days. Paolo di Canio considering his future, the sale of Matt Ritchie and so on. Is it a good time to be playing them?
I don't know. I don't know if it makes any difference. You know, we sold Hopak Pan 2 or 3 weeks ago to Reading. Was it a good time to play us after that? I don't know. So all we can do is what we can do and control what we can control.
All the best, Richie. Thanks for your time. Thank you.
He had not played a game for 3 weeks because of endless postponements. 14 players in and out over the course of the transfer window. Difficult to know what to expect, isn't it, from Crawley tonight?
Well, it is, yeah. We haven't seen them in the last few weeks, obviously, and we do our match reports and we have no reports on them, quite honestly, which is difficult. Yeah, I mean, they'll be trying to put things together in training, and you know, I'm sure they'll have a settled side for today in the training programme it's had this last few weeks, and again integrating the new lads in. But it's never easy to compensate, you know, for actual match situations that develop, you know, and no matter how much training you do, it's judged on the day of the proper game.
Yeah, I guess you can keep the fitness levels, but keeping the match sharpness, it's impossible if you're not playing games, isn't it?
It's virtually, yes, yeah, it is. Yeah, you need the games under your belt, and like I say, it's difficult to replicate on a training session. You know, the actual match day decisions you have to make and the competitive edge that it has. So. But I'm sure that, you know, knowing Richie, you know, and particularly being at home as well, he'll be ready for the battle, yeah.
Plenty more to come from Danny at half-time, who's also here on a bit of spying mission as well, because Sheffield United play Crawley this coming Tuesday. So after the break, it is Crawley Town against Swindon Town. And Paolo di Canio's journey to Swindon has been one of the greatest stories in the Football League. Could tonight be the final chapter? Your Saturday evening football comes live from Broadfield Stadium in Empire League One. It's Crawley Town against Swindon Town. Swindon with a chance to go 3 points behind the top two if they get a win here. Your commentators, Don Goodman and first Bill Leslie.
So how will Swindon cope with the backdrop of unrest? It's been simmering at the county ground for a while now, but the sale of their best player behind the manager's back has seen it all come to a head in the last 24 hours. Paolo di Canio, as you may just have heard, refusing to talk about his future, focusing on his players and getting a result here. And against the backdrop of uncertainty, let's not forget, Swindon are the informed side in League One. New names in those Crawley shirts. They hand out a smattering of debuts today to their January acquisitions. 3 in total as they look to keep in touch with the playoff pack. Former Portsmouth defender Mustafa Dumbaya will start at right back. In midfield, the first start for Matt Sparrow, who's made the comparatively short switch from Brighton. And alongside joint top scorer Billy Clark, Jamie Proctor, signed from Swansea, starts life as a Crawley player. Swindon, of course, without last season's Player of the Year and one of this season's most influential, Matt Ritchie. In his place, Gary Roberts returns to the side. Elsewhere, in total, 3 changes from the side that started at Orient on Tuesday. Aidan Flint comes in for the injured Joe De Vera, and Jay McEverley is preferred to Nathan Thompson and starts for the first time since November after overcoming his knee injury. Only 6 substitutes for Swindon today as illness and injury has pruned their squad. 18-year-old Wales under-19 international Aaron Oakley could be set for a debut. 3 more new arrivals on the Crawley bench. Keeper Johnny Maddison, Latif Elford Aliyev, who's come in from Bury, and defender Connor Essan. Don, you don't sense that Paolo di Canio has keep calm and carry on in his repertoire, but carry on he does today. What sort of effect will the whole saga of the last 24 hours have on him and on his side here, do you think?
Well, I think the players are going to be very, very professional. Paolo di Canio will be professional in his approach to the game. It is one game at a time. You know, you look at the way the results have gone today, and this manager and these players have got themselves in the most fantastic situation. So I do think there'll be more goings-on, more happenings unravelling in the days to come, but for now I don't think that the saga, other than losing a very good player in Matt Ritchie, will have too much effect on Swindon.
I mean, he could turn it into a positive. Of course, he has the backing of the fans. He is this talismanic figure at Swindon who took them up in the first season in charge last season. Are we going to see some sort of siege mentality, us against them, including the board in that, the new board?
Yeah, including the board. I think he's already built that up, hasn't he? In his 18 months in charge, you know, very, very passionate, colourful, animated. He's obviously got the right response from his players.
There they are, the Swindon band of brothers. The other pretty important factor to tell you about before we kick off here this evening is that we have a game. Crawley haven't played for 21 days. Their last 3 games have been postponed because of the state of the pitch, including here against Preston on Tuesday. That was called off just 70 minutes before kick-off. It's not perfect, but it is playable.
We may see a very old-fashioned type of game here with the pitch, the conditions. White shorts aren't going to be white for too long, you wouldn't imagine. A bit of a throwback.
The green grass of West Sussex in pretty short supply as the home side get us off and underway. As Richie Barker told us, we have no form. 3 weeks without a match has seen to that. There'll be an element of the unknown and the unexpected about what they can produce here.
There's no question it is difficult. You don't play, and a lot of the training they wouldn't have been able to undertake on grass, so a very difficult period for all connected with Crawley Town. But a home game in front of the cameras against one of the top teams. If you can't get up for that, you can't get up for anything.
There is unrest in the Swindon ranks, and as we said, there probably won't be the way Swindon have coped. You know, the threat of administration has been really hanging over them since October to varying degrees. 18 points from the last 24 will tell you that whatever's going off the pitch, and coping pretty well on it. Fordring able to clear away. Here's Roberts. And Alan McCormack, who's been employed in varying roles across the back line. Centre-back towards the start of the season. He played left-back last time out, and here he is on right-back duty this evening. Tall figure of Aidan Flint. Ferry. Roberts. Taken away from Ferry by Sparrow.
Fast and furious, as you would expect, really. The pitch is difficult, the ball not rolling true, but certainly closing down a large part of the opening 2 minutes. It's one of those games where you have to battle, you have to win the battle before you stamp your own authority on a game in conditions like this.
Joe Walsh. A very young central defensive pairing that Crawley have at the moment. 21-year-old Mark Connolly, and 20-year-old Joe Walsh.
I just saw Mark Connolly take a little bit of a risk there, and I would suggest it's not really a night for gambling.
Bumbaya, full back from Sierra Leone, looking to get a cross in. It's not a bad one either. Decent defending by Ward. Important defending as well to stop a really useful shot from Jones.
Really good raid down that right-hand side, wasn't it? Bumbaya gets a really good ball in to that near post area. Mike Jones just can't quite get the ball down, but it was good defending, and Swindon got a really good foundation, haven't they? What a wonderful defensive record they've got. They've got goals in them at the other end. It's a perfect combination for success.
They've only conceded 1 goal in their last 7 games. Combine that with the fact that in the division coming into today's games, they were the 3rd top scorers. The Swindon corner hung up. Flint gets a head on it. It's a smart save. He's fired it in from point-blank range.
It is, I think it's James Collins. Does really well. It's hung up to the far post where Flint knocks the ball down. The big striker gets a good contact on it, doesn't he? Paul Jones, the goalkeeper, come at him very quickly, but he reacts smartly. That's a very good save.
Here's Collins again. From a Shrewsbury Town striker. Robert sneaking in. It was really important that he kept his gloves on that, Paul Jones, and he did. Getting a few early examinations now, the man in the Crawley Town goal. Here's Nicky Adams.
Well, they play at a very, very high tempo, Swindon Town. The ball goes dead, they get the ball back in quickly. Very, very hard to play against because it's relentless. They'll keep it going throughout the duration of the game.
You can understand the frustrations of Paolo di Canio, can't you? All managers want more players. I suppose it's the manner of the departure of Matt Ritchie, sold behind the manager's back. There is a takeover going on that's not complete. That meant that deals were in place for several players, but weren't ratified by the Football League. And all this, not putting the kibosh, but certainly Paolo di Canio feeling, hindering their chances of automatic promotion. Today's results so far haven't done those any harm at all. 4 of the top 6 losing. Bournemouth the only winners. And Matt Ritchie now plays his football, of course. McEverley.
There's a good carrot here for Crawley, isn't there, as well? Let's not forget that. Green would only see them 4 points of those playoffs with games in hand. I know you do like the points in the bag. And because of all the postponements, they're going to have to play an awful lot of football to catch up, but by no means out of this playoff shake-up.
And it's worth reminding you, this is only their 2nd season in the Football League. Promoted in their first last season. And here they are in their first season at this level. Both these sides, of course, coming up from League 2 last time out. Swindon as champions. Ferry. Roberts. Spots the gap, and Adams knew he was going to go for it. Cormac. Collins. Roberts. Looked like he was fouled. Indeed, the decision is eventually given.
Well, took the time, the officials, didn't they? Eventually, assistant referee raises his flag for that. Minimal contact, but contact there was. These set pieces always represent danger, don't they? They've got quality players out there that deliver a good ball in.
Right on cue, Don.
Right on cue indeed.
McCormack back to Fodringham. Caught in 2 minds a little bit there, which allowed De Vita to get it on towards Collins.
He's a big physical lad, isn't he, James Collins? He will put himself about. And in doing that, he will be giving free kicks away, as well as getting some. He likes to mix it up.
He's Swindon's top scorer, 13 goals in all competitions, and in form, 5 in his last 5. McEverley.
It's good from Darren Ward. Covered around his central defensive partner, Flint.
Speaking of strikers in form, Billy Clark's really added some goals to his game recently. 10 in all competitions for him this season. There's one player who seems to swap club every season, but he's enjoying life down here in West Sussex. Alexander, who's been playing alongside him for most of the season, departing, scoring today for his new club AFC Wimbledon. McEvely. De Vita.
Haven't seen much of the ball so far. Paolo di Canio over there on that left-hand side for Swindon. Another goals threat, isn't he? They've got them coming from lots of different places.
Work it to De Vita, McEvely. What a painful one there. Mark Connolly as he went to clear it away. Kicking through the ball, and he caught plenty of boot.
Well, these are the ones that defenders hate, don't they? They know they've got to put their foot through the ball. And they also know that strikers closing down will hang a leg out. That's precisely what happened. Andy Williams.
Dunbar making more good progress down the right.
And again, good defending. This time it's McEvely using all of his experience. Getting round on the cover and just allowing the ball to come over the line and out for a goal kick. Cagey opening 11-12 minutes or so, isn't it? Just one save in the game from Paul Jones.
Maybe another one here. Roberts, Williams. Good tenacity to work it to Ferry. Roberts. Worked away by Sparrow. Roberts. So Tommy Miller. Veteran Scotsman in the heart of the Swindon midfield. Now, Rafa De Vita. Swindon Town corner.
This is where Crawley really have to stand strong. I know that Swindon possess some big men. Two central defenders will come forward. Big striker in James Collins.
Flint got his head to it. Dunbar getting it out.
Well, that's two now, isn't it? To the far post in the direction of Aidan Flint, who's won both headers and knocked the ball down into dangerous areas. Crawley really have to sort that out.
Ferry. McCormack. Swindon just starting to get on top. We've seen a side, Paolo di Canio, draw 2 of their last 3 games. They failed to score last time out against Leyton Orient. It's the first time since November that they've drawn a blank.
Not quite as prolific away from home, are they? Which you would maybe expect, but just the 17 goals away in the 13 games is just pretty average, really. But when you defend as well as they do, it has allowed them to pick up plenty of points on the road.
Roberts. Collins. There's McCormack on the overlap. There's Billy Clark. He's not supportive, he can pick the right ball. There's the debutant Proctor. For the first time, first touch. And, couldn't pick out a teammate with it.
It was a decent situation, wasn't it? Counter-attack, 4v4 they had.
Had a loan spell, Jamie Proctor, for a few games at Shrewsbury. So came on a 1.5-year deal from Swansea. Certainly of the two strikers up front, he's the more physical, more of a target man about him. Strange piece of decision-making by Mike Jones there.
We've spoken about the pitch, haven't we? Fizzed a volley back to the goalkeeper. Any kind of a bobble. Paul Jones in the Crawley goal would have been in serious trouble there.
Proctor coming away with it from Aidan Flint. Josh Simpson, Crawley skipper to Dumbaya. He's impressed so far. Floated up towards Proctor. Well, the flag was up, but he has his head in his hands. He knows what a good chance that could have been.
Well, he'll be pleased to see that in a strange sort of way, really, but the movement is excellent. Just pulls off the shoulder of Flint. You can see it's a very good decision by the assistant referee on the far side. Lovely ball in. Like I said, it doesn't matter because the flag went up.
Without a goal in his last 22 games, Jamie Proctor. No matter who he's played for, he's enduring a little bit of a barren spell at the moment. By Richie Barker's admission, Swindon gave Crawley one of their toughest examinations of the season when they went to the county ground in the opening weeks of it. It was the familiar scoreline. All three league meetings so far have finished 3-0 to Swindon.
There isn't any real evidence so far to suggest that that's going to be the case tonight. I do feel the first goal may be very, very important here tonight.
And the boys from the back have gone up again. Try and get on McEverly's cross. This time it's Ward back across goal. It's a reasonable effort, but too close to the goalkeeper.
I just don't understand why they're not switched on to this Crawley. There's two, not one, there's two big lads. Aaron Ward gets the knockdown. They get an attempt at goal. It's a tactic that is working for them. A long ball to the far post. They are winning everything in the air and causing Crawley all kinds of problems.
Well, we know that Matt Ritchie over the last couple of seasons has been one of the most, if not the most influential players. 9 goals in his 27 league appearances. His tally for Swindon, but it was about the 9 assists he got as well. They're going to have to make sure that they can try and plug that, get the ammunition for the strikers. And Roberts particularly, and De Vita as well. They've got two pretty established performers at this level, though.
Talented boys, both of them. Gary Roberts at Huddersfield Town, a real golden spell. Seriously looking at the potential of playing at a higher level. Quite worked out that way yet for him.
Had a spell at Ipswich as well, didn't he, after leaving Accrington Stanley? He was pretty prolific, playing back in the conference for Accrington against Crawley. Sparrow. commits himself. Proctor in for the battle, finding Nicky Adams, who in turn can't find Simpson, but he's got the free kick anyway.
Well, Swindon are having a moan because there was a clear foul on one of their players before the Swindon player actually committed the foul that has led to a Crawley free kick. That's the captain there, Alan McCormack, explaining that. There's a push there. And there was one even just before that, before Flint commits the foul.
So a chance for Crawley here to test the meanest defence in League One. Adams has picked himself up, dusted himself down and delivers. Flint got plenty on that. Sadler underneath it. Chase for Gary Roberts. Dunbar should get there first. Had to take a moment because of the unpredictability of the pitch. Here's McKeverley. And McCormack. Sparrow for Proctor. McKeverley. Collins. De Vita. Williams. A lot of space for Nicky Adams down the left. If he can be found, Simpson finds him. Adams still going, they look for a penalty, they get one for McCormack's challenge. He claims he got the ball, the referee not buying it. He's given the home side the penalty.
Well, I have to say, Andrew Madeley is a referee that has got a reputation for giving penalties, 10 in his 23 games already this season, but is there contact? And certainly McCormack, it's an ungainly challenge, isn't it? Lunges in, wow, it's minimal, very, very minimal. Referee, you can see in the background, in a really good position. You see still a bit of argy-bargy. McCormack feels that Nicky Adams has bought that penalty. When you lunge in, you always give the referee a decision to make.
So Billy Clark will take the responsibility for Crawley. He goes for Power, and Power does the job. Crawley leads Swindon halfway through the first half.
Well, he still had a job to do, didn't he? Billy Clark kept his composure. He smashed the ball right down the middle. Even Fotheringham, absolutely no chance. Lots of power. Once the goalkeeper moves, he's not going to stop that. And Crawley, unexpected lead.
He's 11th in all competitions. And as if life wasn't difficult enough for Swindon, they're going to need to come from behind something. Despite the good season they're having in their return to League One this year, they haven't done particularly effectively. They're not that prolific at picking up points when they fall behind.
I think this is only the 9th time, isn't it? In the entire season they've found themselves conceding the first goal, but Richie Barker's team have a very, very good record at holding on to their leads as well.
Well, Don, you said a few moments ago the first goal was going to be all important. Well, Crawley Town have it.
They haven't got a good record against the teams that are in the top half of this league. I think they'd only won 3 of 13 games prior to today, so there's still a long way to go. And Paolo di Canio and his team showed that they can create chances. Not particularly threatening when the balls are being crossed into the box.
As it is there by Collins looking for Roberts. Adams, who was at the very heart of that controversy that won the penalty. He's up against McCormack again. I sense there might be a little duel developing there. And there's a tale which has some mileage in it. Collins. Ferry getting away from Adams. Collins. Swindon Town corner as they look to repair the damage from the Billy Clark penalty as quickly as they can.
They've got to get organised defensively, Crawley. They've got to stop Aidan Flint getting his head on this.
And he's gone round the back again, and the ball is in the vicinity this time. They managed to do so. Got a little touch in and look for the counter. In goes McKeverley. Ball came off the debutant Jamie Proctor last. Putting plenty on that. Fodringham hits the front, looks for Collins. Roberts is the intended target from Tommy Miller's pass. First game in February, this is of course for these two clubs. Swindon come here having not lost in the previous 2 months. A couple of postponed games, but January was clean. They were unbeaten in December as well. 23rd of November, the last time that they lost, and it was as they were narrowly edged out at Notts County. It'll be a big scalp for Crawley. Richie Barker before the match talking about the importance as they are effectively playing Saturday, Tuesday for the rest of the season because of their postponements over the last month, getting up the momentum. Yes, it certainly put some wind in their sails. McCormack, Williams couldn't hold it. Collins is offside.
Skipper a bit further forward there than he was just a few minutes ago. Nicky Adams found the space to run at him, and McCormack just hangs a leg out there. There's a tiny little bit of contact. There's no question Nicky Adams makes the most of it. He's almost trodden on the ball himself, hasn't he, Nicky Adams, and goes down very, very easily. The referee's perfectly placed, and Billy Clark does the rest. Makes no mistake. The term soft springs to my mind for that.
Not applicable to the way Billy Clark hit the penalty, though. He rifled that home, his first penalty this season, I think. Here's Adams. Away by Flint. Sadler. An opportunity to get into the box here. It's working out very nicely. Just couldn't get the finish, the Crawley captain, Simpson.
Oh, the deflection nearly took this in the corner, but lovely little football round the corner. Cuts inside Simpson. That little deflection off Darren Ward sends the ball sprawling into the ground and agonisingly close to a second for Crawley.
Ward in bravely and effectively. Dumbaya. Sparrow is above Roberts. McCormack winning this particular duel with Nicky Adams. Oliver Williams to try and get his teeth into. Connolly getting another painful blow on the boot.
those defenders' clearances, isn't it? Both running at pace. It's an honest challenge. Hodge Connolly comes off second best again. Was it there? It's just the momentum of the defender. Just takes him into Williams.
Just wonder if he took a little whack on that same leg that he took the blow on when he was clearing it away 10-15 minutes ago. Moving okay there. A very furrowed area of the centre circle. Well, Crawley will be delighted. Nothing less than that with their opening half an hour here. Adams. Carving out the corner.
Well, certainly since winning the penalty, he's seen plenty of the ball, isn't he, Nicky Adams, and he's prepared to run at the defenders. And he is causing them one or two uncomfortable moments at the minute.
He might not have played for 3 weeks, but before that, the man taking the corner was one of the informed players. No post delivery comfortably dealt with by Ferry. Sparrow. Fodringham coming a long way and claiming.
You could hear him from up here. There's only ever going to be one winner there. Good goalkeeping.
Connolly. Flint. Jones. Doumbia. And there's no second invitation to carve his way up that right flank for Crawley. Proctor. McEverly. McEverly's going to be pulled up for that one.
A little bit frustrated to me. Swindon Town not really going their way at the moment. They had one or two early chances, but it's been a while since we've seen Paul Jones in the Crawley goal really tested.
Sparrow. Doumbia. Two of the new boys combining. Adams. Walsh. Simpson. The area in and around the centre circle is particularly rutted. You'll see players struggling to control it with the first touch there. DeVita. Well, they need something, need a bit of a spark. DeVita doing his best to deliver that. Can't come off that time for Swindon. Williams. Roberts. Gary Roberts onto his trusty left and not too far wide. It took a touch as well.
Well, know your players. Do not let this fella inside onto that left foot. Force him onto the right. A good strike, isn't it? Not a million miles away. Took a little deflection. Sadler, I think. Sparrow that was coming in. It's not too far away.
It started with Miller. Brings out a cross. Roberts couldn't get on the end of it. Proctor couldn't clear first time, but he's played a decent one to Mickey Adams second time. He can streak away here. Ferry trying to stay with him.
Good cover. And Simon Ferrick tracked the run all the way. Mickey Adams got his feet tangled up again, which served him well for the penalty.
Adams. By Miller. Connolly's there first. Here comes Josh Simpson to Adams. Going up towards the far post. McEvely's missed it. Could be on here, but De Vita covering back. And he can get forward here as well. Swindon's two front men manoeuvring into position on the edge of the penalty area, but the delivery is cut out at source.
They haven't moved the ball well at all when they get into the final third of Crawley. Swindon are very disappointed. I'm sure the manager will have a few words to say about that, no doubt.
And a mix-up between the two centre-halves as well. Not costly this time. Gary Roberts. De Vita. Glanced away by Walsh, and that'll go for a corner.
Needed defending. And Joe Walsh did well. It's another corner, and this really is where Swindon have offered the most threat. In general open play, they haven't carved out an awful lot.
Referee spotted something in there. Robert Dunbar and Gary Roberts.
The two players in and around Paul Jones, the goalkeeper, aren't they? Which is a very controversial position that's taken up by almost every club in the league.
Well, they've wised up to the Swindon corner routine and defended much more capably and comfortably in the last couple of Swindon corners. Sparrow looking for Clark, McCormack covering. And with McCormack covering, Don, it's left an awful lot of space down this left for Mickey Adams, hasn't it?
Well, he's just explaining now. I mean, he was free as a bird. If they could have got their head up and seen that run, he had acres of space, and Crawley are looking a threat on that counter-attack.
A reminder what Super Sunday looks like. West Bromwich Albion against Tottenham, live 1 o'clock, Sky Sports 1 HD. And Manchester City against Liverpool, live 3:30, also Sky Sports 1 HD, and available in Sky 3D. Looked like a foul on Billy Clark. Throw-in is eventually what's given.
Assistant referee just yards away.
Swindon free kick. What will disappoint Paolo di Canio is that Crawley probably good value for the lead, even though there may be a hint of controversy about the penalty that helped them get it.
third-place team prior to today have done nowhere near enough for me. Much better than this. I mean, obviously the pitch isn't ideal.
Same for both, though.
It is the same for both. Crawley have adapted to the conditions much better than Swindon.
Dumbaya. He's in space again down the left. Adams, if Dumbaya gets his head up and spots him. Here's Clark. Dumbaya. McCormack. Wales under-21 international Joe Walsh to the Republic of Ireland under-21 international Mark Connolly.
Just enough there, didn't he, McCormack?
Stole a few yards on the throw-in as well. That's what the referee's blowing about. Roberts. De Vita getting there ahead of Dumbaya, but unable to get any real action on the ball. 9 points in the League One table, the gap between these two. Swindon overtaken by Bournemouth, the only side in the top 6, as we said earlier on, to win today.
The problem Swindon have got is it is very, very tight, isn't it? There's only 3 points separating them from 8th place. So much as you're right in the shake-up for the automatic promotion, you have any kind of a real wobble, you might even find yourself outside of the playoffs. That would be a disaster, given the season they're having.
That's why Paolo di Canio, one of the reasons why he was so disappointed, he felt the impetus that a few new signings could bring, plus keeping hold of everyone. So he felt that he had assurances were going to happen. We'd see them kick on and push for automatic promotion, challenge the men in possession at the moment, who are Tranmere and Doncaster. On by De Vita, out by Walsh. McEverley. Flint. Connolly away. Another from Ward. Helped on by Clark. And Simpson almost advanced for Crawley. Fodring just preventing the corner. Where's Fodringham?
Crawley central defenders Connolly and Walsh have done really well in this first half. They've totally contained Andy Williams and James Collins. They've been in fine form up front for Swindon Town. So at the start, didn't we, before the ball was kicked, we might see a little bit of a throwback. It has been a throwback to the old days of very direct lower league football, playing the conditions.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. It is the condition, because these two sides don't really play that way given the choice. As I think you said a moment ago, it's Crawley who've adapted the better. forced winter break seems to have reinvigorated them. As we approach half-time, they're on course for what would be only their second win in their last 7 home league games.
That was the bedrock of their promotion, wasn't it? Their form here last season, but they've struggled to keep that going at this level. A good time to get a big scalp under your belt.
Yeah, very good time to get a second. Swindon deal with it. Here's Simon Ferry. Roberts making the run ahead of him. Dumbaya coming across from right back to close the door at left. One added minute. Seems a while since there's been even one chance for Swindon.
Yeah. Crawley have defended exceptionally well, and they have carried a bit of a threat on the counter-attack. Been first to the loose balls for most of this half.
Miller's arrived here. There's some excellent closing. The new boy Sparrow. Here's McCormack though, getting well forward. Captain trying to atone for what criminality there was and giving away the penalty. No offside flag here against Proctor. He's in behind here. He can double the lead before half-time. Went for the toe-poked effort to get it beyond Fodringham, and that could be a big save in the context of the match. Back in towards Proctor, and there's Fodringham again.
Oh, well done, Wes Fodringham. Very well adjusted, kept his team in this, timed his run well. Proctor, he's got a lot of time. He does the right thing, heads in, and then takes it very early. And Fodringham reads it. Makes the save.
Well, the last 24 hours have been eventful for Paolo di Canio and Swindon Town. The first 45 minutes here haven't gone according to plan either. Are they heading to their first defeat since November? Alan McCormack giving away the penalty. He felt he didn't get anything on Nicky Adams, but Billy Clark converted emphatically from the spot. And that is why Crawley Town leads Swindon Town by 1-0 at half-time.
Well, they might not have played a game for the last 3 weeks, Crawley Town, but there's been no signs of ring rust in that first half. And the good news for the home side is when they have scored first this season, they are unbeaten. Danny Wilson is alongside me. We'll hear from him when we come back. But a tough week for the Italian. It's just got a whole lot tougher. Crawley on top. Billy Clark's 7th goal in the last 13 from the penalty spot has given Crawley Town the lead at half-time. They're leading Swindon by 1-0. And when they have been leading at half-time, they've won 6 out of 6. The former Swindon manager, now Sheffield United manager, Danny Wilson alongside me. We wonder whether there would be any signs of ring rust from Crawley, being that they haven't played for 3 weeks. No signs in that first half.
No, not at all. I think they look quite sharp. Early exchanges of the game, you think that Swindon put a bit of pressure on. The ball's getting up to Collins and up the top there and Williams. But I thought as the game started to develop, they got to grips with the 2 strikers. The 2 centre backs, remained solid. And they got into the game, as the first 10-15 minutes went by. But the biggest threat at this stage in the first half were the set plays from Swindon's point of view.
The biggest talking point of the first half, the penalty that led to Crawley taking the lead. What was your take on it, penalty or not?
It's really tight call, I have to say. I think the fact that Adams is going at such pace, I think he even loses balance himself. The ball gets slightly stuck under his foot.
It's a rash challenge, though, isn't it? From the fullback?
Well, it is. I think I think the change of direction has just flummoxed him a little bit. But I have to say, you see that Mr. Murley there behind the referee has a perfect sighting of it.
So you can see why he's given it.
Yes, you can, because he goes to ground. I think once a player goes to ground, it makes the decision a lot more easier for the referee.
And if he wants someone to put their laces through it, he does.
Yes, he does, Billy. It's a fantastic penalty. West Fodringham, no chance of that one.
Yeah, terrific penalty, giving them that lead at half-time. But the lead could have been doubled. Jamie Proctor, coming from Swansea, he should have done better, shouldn't he?
Should he done better, or is it a great save? I think the fact that he timed his run well.
Definitely onside.
Definitely onside. I think the high back line from Swindon. This is where what could prove dangerous for them. But I thought Fodringham stood up really, really a long time there and made the decision back to the striker.
He has a presence in goal, doesn't he? He owns the area, which is what you want your keeper to do.
Oh yes, Simon, yeah, without a doubt. And I think he didn't give anything away to the striker coming in on goal there. And he made Proctor make that decision, and he's reacted very well to it. He's virtually told him where to put it, and I'll save it.
Swindon, the third top scorers in League One. We know they're an attacking threat, but they've been blunted somewhat today. Is that them being under par, or Crawley just being on top?
Well, I think there's a little pockets of threats that Crawley have, particularly on the counter-attacking, and we've seen some of the areas where Blair Adams has got into it on the other side. Nick Adams on the other side, and I think that's been a bit of a major problem for them. But these are the set plays here. Like you said, there's not a lot in them in terms of goal-scoring opportunities, but they are a threat in those. But I think as the game went on, the back four or the marking defenders in those situations got to grips with it, and minimised the chances as the half went on.
And how much has it been about Crawley playing the conditions better?
The middle of the park's very difficult, obviously, and there's no space really to get the ball into the striker's feet. So the pitch in behind, the Swindon back four is possibly where it's better to play. They're playing a very high back line, and the threat is there for them. But they play so high and so intense, Swindon. They get the ball up to the strikers and they fight for every second ball. They keep the ball in the final third. So if you can get out, there are spaces if you can link the first ball out.
Paolo di Canio does not know what it's like to lose to Crawley Town in the league. He's had comfortable wins in his last 3. It's been anything but comfortable for him in the last 24 hours, and definitely not comfortable here at Crawley Town. It's the home side who leads, who will be on top come 90 minutes. International football takes centre stage this Wednesday. Gordon Strachan's first game in charge of Scotland against Estonia, 7:30, Sky Sports 1 HD. Elsewhere, you can see the Republic of Ireland against Poland, 7:30 again, Sky Sports 2 HD. And Wales against Austria is over on Sky Sports 3 HD on Wednesday nights. Here at the Broadfield Stadium this evening, it's the home side who leads.
Adams still going, they look for a penalty, they get one for McCormack's challenge. He goes for Power, and Power does the job. Crawley leads Swindon halfway through the first half.
So work for Swindon to do, work for the ground staff as well. This was them at half-time. I tell you what, those boots have been round the block, but it is almost quad mile around the centre. They've done a terrific job. Let's rejoin our commentators, Don Goodman and Bill Leslie.
Well, that goal from Billy Clark means that Crawley have already managed to buck the trend and make a small slice of history for themselves in the Football League. All previous meetings 3-0 to Swindon. Whatever happens in this second half, that will change. No change, by the way, to the two sides, so both Crawley and Swindon are as they would have started. I'm just talking, Don, at half-time about Paolo di Canio being strangely subdued on the Swindon bench in the first half by his usual standards. I dare say he wasn't quite so subdued in the confines of the dressing room.
I would agree with that totally. I think that he would have got stuck into his players at half-time because they are so much better than they've shown. I think he needs an awful lot more out of his front four players of Gary Roberts, James Collins, Andy Williams and Paolo di Canio. They weren't at all creative from open play. The two central strikers allowed the two central defenders to boss them and dominate them in the end. Just balls like that, that's a hopeful ball forward. And I think you need to find a lot more quality than they were able to find in that first half. But the plus side is I'm not sure they can play much worse than that.
There's Jones for Crawley up against McEverley. Ball in. By De Vita. Plays a very good volley pass into the path of Gary Roberts. On by Flint. Simpson, Proctor, Jones, moving it nicely on a very difficult playing surface. McEverley is tussling now with Jones, taking a risk.
Yeah. Playing a very dangerous game there, wasn't he, Jay McEverley? Got very, very close to Mike Jones. There's contact, not once, twice, but stays honest, doesn't he, the winger?
something that Swindon's right back didn't feel that Nicky Adams did. The incident that led to the penalty that at the moment separates the sides. 9 points separates them in the League One table. Same margin, incidentally, that Swindon were ahead of them at the end of the League Two season. Swindon the champions, Crawley going up in third. Different man at the helm towards the end of last season, of course.
Well, this could be a wonderful catalyst for his team. Of course, there's a long way to go, but they going into a really tough run of games, including tonight. 4 of the next 7 are against the top 6.
Billy Clark, slippery, has done well. Simpson takes it early. Walsh. Roberts. And Paolo di Canio will want Gary Roberts to get a bit more involved, and the signs are that he's doing just that. Until the positives run in the opening 3 minutes of the second half, though.
Yeah, like I said, they need to get him more involved, but once again, ultimately the Crawley defence comes out on top. And that's been happening far too often, I'm sure, for Paolo di Canio's liking.
Well, understandably, seeing as that first half penalty they conceded was only the 20th goal they've conceded so far this season. Swindon's defence had top billing, and it's Crawley's who've impressed more so far in this match. Having said that, Swindon's goalkeeper has made some very important contributions, none more so than denying Jamie Proctor in the dying seconds of the first half.
Could prove to be massive, couldn't it, in the grand scheme of this game.
We've seen enough, a double substitution. Adam Rooney and Nathan Thompson are stripped and ready for action.
Well, not even 5 minutes into the second half, and he's obviously said to players out there, I'll give you 5 minutes.
Williams deflection, and superb reaction from Paul Jones to keep it out.
Well, this is a wonderful save, I have to say. Paul Jones was going the wrong way. It's a long ball, but they get second onto it quickly. Goalkeeper, this angle will show you, moves his feet, his footwork is excellent, and the footwork allows him to make the save.
Kavita denied by Dumbaya, who cleared well there. Miller trying to get beyond Josh Simpson. Roberts now winning it back. And Simon Ferry. Nearly comes to Aidan Flint. Down he goes under the challenge. The referee's not going to give anything to Swindon here.
Well, he doesn't ask the referee for anything. To his credit, Aidan Flint gets across his heavy touch. He goes over, but he doesn't throw his arms out and appeal for a penalty.
Dumbaya. Clark. Stolen by Ferry. Williams. Connolly gets back at him. Good tempo to the match just at the moment. Swindon battle to preserve their unbeaten record. Record that spans the whole of December and the whole of January. But at the start of February, it's under severe threat. Hence the double substitution just 6 minutes into the second half. James Collins, 5 goals in his last 5 games. Top scorer off. Adam Rooney on. Perhaps not a surprise to see Jay McEverley not last the whole course. He hasn't played a lot of football because of his knee injury over the last couple of months. So they revert here, Swindon, to the back four that started against Leyton Orient.
He doesn't look happy, does he, about the decision to bring him off, Jay McEvely?
Looks devastated.
Yeah.
McCormack back to Fodringham, and it's all about being substituted. Controversially, in what was Swindon's biggest defeat of the season, it's a few months ago now, but up at Preston, when they lost 4-1, he was substituted after just 21 minutes. Flint. Williams playing through the middle. Ball did go out. Gives me a chance to ask you, Don, have they changed the system at all with the introduction of Rooney, or are the swaps like for like?
Yeah, it looks very much like for like. I just think Nathan Thompson has gone playing right back, maybe to engage Nicky Adams a bit more. Well, McCormack was able to. McCormack has come over here to where Jay McEvely was, but obviously it's the change of James Collins. When you need a goal, not many managers that will bring off your top scorer, but Paolo di Canio is not a conformist, is he?
Yeah, there are many managers that are not quite like Paolo di Canio. The big question as far as Swindon Town supporters are concerned is how much longer will he be their manager? Untenable is a strong word to use about your position at the club, and that is exactly what he used in the statement he issued last night. Broken promises.
Things were going so well. They really were. Got themselves into this fantastic position in a very short space of time. Up from League Two. Possible opportunity of getting themselves into the Championship.
Sparrow. And the referee's pulled it back for a foul a little bit earlier on in the move forward.
Tried to give Matt Sparrow the opportunity to go on, didn't he? Andrew Madeley, the referee.
Proctor showing where he wants it. Clark offside.
They will keep trying to play this ball from behind. Billy Clark goes quite a bit too soon. A couple of yards offside.
And Swindon have had their financial problems. It was only 5 years ago, but Crawley nearly went to the wall, of course. And they had the investment. Late Bruce Winfield, the lifelong fan, helped save the club. And now they're on a very secure financial footing. They had the cup run a couple of seasons ago. It took them up to Old Trafford, and they ran them close. Now here they are, their first season at League One, looking for what would be their third successive promotion.
It was a distant dream just a couple of seasons ago, wasn't it?
Like Stevenage before them, who came close last year, didn't they?
When they started the season, it was on, wasn't it? Just had a little bad run of just 10 points from the last 9 games. But hold on, get your 3 points here. Massive, massive scalp. Could do wonders for the confidence. Absolute wonders.
I think probably the first thing, as with many clubs in many divisions, is survival. They started the day 15 points clear of the drop zone, on 41 points, so not wanting to tempt fate. pretty much assured of being in this league next season.
Absolutely. I don't think they've got any problems there. Now the question for them is, can they kick on? Can they just find a little run? As I said, some difficult games coming.
Nudge in the box, and the referee gives the penalty. There was a push there. And at the same end that he gave Crawley the penalty, he gives one to Swindon.
Wow. Adam Rooney. Come on, they're coming together there. And Joe Walsh has got an arm on him. Rooney's gone down as if he's been really shoved. Naive.
Fortunate. Perhaps a little bit of both. Either way, they'll take it, Swindon. Adam Rooney, who has come on as substitute, will take on the penalty duties.
They've not got a great record this season from the spot, have they? Missed 3 of the 4. No pressure.
Rooney strikes and Rooney scores. You don't hit them much better than that. And Swindon are level.
Well, it's come out of nowhere. I have to say, I'm looking. The whole of the Swindon team have gone over there to congratulate Adam Rooney. So there's that togetherness that Paolo di Canio would want from them. He's under a lot of pressure because, as I said, I think they'd missed 3 of the 4 previous. You don't stop them. Paul Jones is beaten emphatically, and don't tell me he don't care. Look at that reaction. He does care just as much as they do.
And there's one Rooney who's recently relinquished penalty duties for his club. Swindon's Adam Rooney takes one, scores one. It's 1-1 here at the Broadfield Stadium.
I have to say, I don't want to be critical of referees, but Andrew Madeley, that is his 12th penalty this season. This is his 24th game. That is some record. And both of them have been a little bit soft for me.
Consistency from referees?
Consistency from Andrew Madeley.
McCormack. Simpson. Jones. Back come Crawley, looking for a response. They might get it. Clark. He's looking for a penalty off Thompson. Well, it was blasted right at him, but you never know.
And he wasn't going to give that one. As the ball comes across, it's really fizzed, and I'm not sure. I think it hits Thompson in the chest. Yeah.
Frantic defending by Swindon, it's effective. The referee's whistle gives Swindon a chance to clear it away.
Well, not a man afraid of making decisions. Clearly, they've had 2. There's a tiny little hand there. I mean, for me, that is not a penalty. It's very soft, but the first one probably equally soft.
Walsh away. He can consider himself a little unfortunate to be at the heart of that incident that's allowed Swindon back into the match. Here's Clark.
We are seeing less and less of Nicky Adams, aren't we? Really prominent in that first half. What a lift. That equaliser should have given Swindon Town.
Why are we seeing less of Nicky Adams, Don? Is it because of the introduction of Thompson, or is it because they're cutting out the ball getting to him?
Yeah, possibly a combination of the two. I certainly think Nathan Thompson has probably got a little bit more pace than Alan McCormack to deal with Nicky Adams's runs.
Williams nearly opened it up there. Walsh read it. McCormack was tucking in a lot in that first half, wasn't he? Giving Nicky Adams a bit more space.
Yeah, he was. Well, as a central defender, he was getting around. He was over-covering really at times, and the ball to Adams was on so much because of that.
been reinvented in so many different positions since he turned up at Swindon, hasn't he, Alan McCormack? Combative central midfielder was his trade before. Paolo di Canio got to him. It's centre-half for most of last season. Full-back, right and left in this match so far. Here is Adams. Williams chips it out of the quagmire, gives Rooney something for chase. Walsh goes across, Rooney's got past him, reinforcements arrive. Rooney didn't pick the pass. It was on there for Swindon, it was very much on.
Oh, much better spectacle, haven't we? It's end to end, the game's getting stretched. Both of these teams really believing they can carve out a winner. What an opportunity that just was. Wonderful play from Adam Rooney to shake off Joe Walsh, but then does the hard part. Now he's got to compose himself, and Gary Roberts there was in a much better position. It was an easier pass.
He's onside here, Rooney. But that one is drifting down the Horsham Road. Came to the club, came to Swindon as part of the deal that took Paul Caddis to Birmingham City in the last transfer window.
He's been heavily involved since Paolo di Canio has brought him onto the pitch.
Here's Proctor. Trying to release Jones, but that will just bobble away. We said it at the time, Don, that Proctor chance in the dying seconds of the first half could be a big moment in the match. It looks pretty important just now, doesn't it?
It does. There is still plenty of time for that to change, but as things stand, we said it at the time, we felt that Wes Foderingham had just kept his team in it because a 2-goal cushion may well have seen Crawley home.
Dumbaya, pressurised by Williams. He's given it to De Vita. McCormack comes forward to help out. Here's the Swindon skipper. Not a bad ball, what a save! Rooney thought he had a second, but Jones pulls out an excellent stop.
Well, that's the moment of the match, isn't it? The hold-up play from De Vita, the run by McCormack, and the cross. Rooney gets across his marker, and that's a bullet header. It's travelling, really is travelling for that corner. The reactions of Paul Jones, magnificent.
For the first time in the match, you really feel that Swindon might be taking the higher ground, but here come Crawley, Billy Clark, McCormack coming across the cover and doing well.
That's good defending, good strong defending from Alan McCormack, but the reactions of Paul Jones there just kept us all level, because this is bullet header. Adam Rooney can't believe it. A wonderful save.
Here's Williams. Out by Connolly. If you're Adam Rooney, Don, not taking away from the quality of Paul Jones's save, should you be scoring having got your head on the ball?
Well, I think you do. You turn it goalwards, don't you? I mean, the only thing you will say is perhaps it was the perfect height for the goalkeeper to make the save, so had he headed it downwards, he may have been celebrating again.
Roberts delivering, there's Jones.
You really don't want to take anything away from that save, because the reactions, because of the speed it was coming, to get a really good hand on it and keep it away and out of the goal. Absolutely first class.
And he's kicked it out because he's got a problem with his boot. Well, Richie Barker's been complaining to the fourth official. He felt there was a throw-in in the build-up to the play that led to the penalty that should have been theirs.
The assistant referee you saw flagged. And that's what they're moaning about.
I would think he'd probably have more grounds for complaint over the decision that saw the penalty given.
Absolutely.
Came off the back of Ward's head. And here we are midway through the second half, the three-quarter mark in the match. It's a tale of two penalties between the two towns, Crawley and Swindon. Rooney. Clark's penalty in the first half and Rooney's penalty in the second half. Here is Billy Clark. Jones making the run in behind. Ward comes across.
The way it's going, you can't really see this game staying the same way. There's another goal out there for somebody. Just not really sure who for.
Dumbaya off the back of McCormack. Barry gets it away. Sparrow. Excellent challenge in there to win it from Ferry. Ferry goes down off the ball. There goes on, advantage. De Vita trying to take it by finding Williams.
Well, end to end, you attack, we'll attack. That's what we've got on our hands. We've got two teams really going for it here.
Swindon feeling much more like themselves in this second half. They go deep again, looking for Flint, who's across there. Roberts wasn't going to wait like Connolly did. It's back into the mix. De Vita wouldn't quite sit for him, but Swindon still have it. Roberts, De Vita. Back in by Flint. Ferry. Miller over the top, looking for Williams. Rooney. I just can't get it away at the moment, Crawley. We have a little bit of help from the assistant who spotted a handball in there.
I can't believe he's given handball for that. It's about a yard away, isn't he? He smashed at him. I mean, you tell me how that's deliberate handball, because I don't know.
Unnatural movement of the hand. Strange one.
Keep going.
Ferry's header. Saw the bounce completely die in that particularly rutted area inside the centre circle. Ward hoping it'll run out, or Fodringham comes out. The goalkeeper eventually takes control of the situation. Five successive wins was the thing that really propelled Swindon up towards the upper reaches of the League One table, as 2012 turned to 2013. 2 draws in the last 3 games. both away from home, it has to be said. They drew 1-1 at Bournemouth, who overtook them with their win earlier on today, and a goalless draw last time out against Orient. And Swindon going to have to settle for a point again here against Crawley. Still plenty of time to try and force it. McCormack, in comes Ward. Well defended. Took a clunk there. Connolly, and he's had a few of those this afternoon.
He has. Been nice and strong, really. The only thing that hasn't gone their way was the penalty awarded against Joe Walsh, which, in my opinion, was very soft, but stood strong. Here's the away team. They've done more of the pressing, more of the ball. That old magical half-time team talk and a couple of substitutions has changed the way this game's panned out.
Ward. Says it all, the expression of Andy Williams there.
Well, again, it looks a clear foul to me, but ironically, the referee not interested. And the tiny little fouls in the penalty area have resulted in penalties being given.
Rooney. De Vita. Miller. Excuse him, perhaps lack of direction on the pass. It really is treacherous in that area of the field to try and get a foot on the ball. McCormack. Ferry bursting from midfield. There's De Vita.
Looking more and more of a threat, aren't they, from open play, Swindon Town. Just pushing Crawley back. We said at half-time, they didn't feel that they could play worse in the second half. And they haven't let us down.
Thompson. Roberts. Good action on that ball. Williams, who had a free header, couldn't find the target.
I think he's got time to bring this down. You know, the flight of the ball has taken it over his marker. Over Mark Connolly. He can bring that down. One touch, bang. I think he scores. He elects to go for the header. Gets it horribly wrong, but what a chance.
And a player who is in good touch in front of goal, 6 in his last 6. You might expect a more confident bit of striking, but not to be there. The chances continue to come. They were absent in the first period for Swindon. Clash inside the centre circle there. And both physios will come on.
Yeah, eyes totally on the ball as 3 come together there. De Vita, Miller and Jones.
Football next week, Monday, Gillingham against Wickham, live 7:30 Sky Sports 1 HD. And Tuesday we're in Leyton Orient for their Johnston's Paint Trophy Southern Area Final first leg against Southend. That's 7:30 Sky Sports 1 HD. Blow to the jaw there, Mike Jones, but I think he's going to be okay to continue. 2 substitutions, incidentally, already made by Swindon. Richie Barker has stuck with what he started with. Unable, the former Bury manager, to hold on to what he had at half-time. Both Tommy Miller and Mike Jones involved in that collision. Back on. And back underway. Swindon look to recover the promising momentum they've had in the last 10-15 minutes or so. Roberts has possession. Thompson. Adams.
I don't think Gary Roberts can have any complaints about seeing a yellow card for this. A rash challenge from Nicky Adams. Just steams into him, doesn't he? Not noted for his tackling.
Clark, lovely first touch. The second wasn't bad either. Didn't get a chance for a third, thanks to Thompson. Sparrow. He's fallen out of the first team reckoning at Brighton this season before he moved. In his 30s now, Matt Sparrow, and this is only his third club. Only 400 games for Scunthorpe, and a couple of seasons at Brighton. And now here he is, the short trip up the A23 at Crawley. Swindon complete their substitutions, and they send on Chris Martin. He is versatile, and that he could fill a berth out on the right-hand side, Chris Martin. But striking position through the middle is what he would prefer. We'll see how Swindon reorganise here. Hooks in on, he's on loan from Norwich City. Couldn't pick out the man on loan from Birmingham, Adam Rooney.
It looks very much as if Chris Martin is going to play as that central striker.
Yeah, Andy Williams has gone across to slot in on that right in front of Nathan Thompson, hasn't he?
Done well, hasn't he, Nathan Thompson? Since he's come on, he's engaged Nicky Adams much higher up the pitch than Alan McCormack was doing in the first half. Denied him time and denied him space.
Just a little bit of indecision at the back. Matt Sadler thought that someone was going to come forward and help him out. If in doubt, get it out. That's what he's done. Just not a play, but out of the stadium, so another ball will need to be called for. There it comes. Billy Clark, who got the goal from the penalty spot, comes off. So for battles to come, and there are plenty of those for Crawley as they hopefully resume a usual schedule after their 3-week weather-enforced midwinter break. And here is a debut for the 20-year-old Nigerian-born forward, Latif Elford Aliou. Released by Bury at the start of January and signed up by their former manager, Richie Barker. Connolly just overstretched. He gave it to Miller. Martin. By another who hasn't had to move too far in order to continue his football. An impressive performer for Portsmouth this season, and he's been an impressive performer this evening as well, hasn't he?
Very, very impressed with him. Looks a really calm, composed player, doesn't he? Very good addition to Crawley Town.
Another painful loss for Pompey as well. Connolly, who has been limping a little bit, is able to wrestle the attentions of Martin away.
It's twice in the space of 10 seconds. They've been coming together between those two. They just don't want to be giving away cheap free kicks against a team like Swindon Town.
Chris Martin is due to return to Norwich after this match as his loan spell's due to end. Get himself in the mix towards Flint. Old, relatively successful routine. Here's Rooney. Jones has come, but he's caught late by Ward. And that'll be a free kick, unsurprisingly.
I don't know what Darren Ward's complaining about, really. Can't have any complaints. Clearly, Paul Jones gets there way ahead of the central defender. This ball goes way up in the air. Darren Ward just follows through into the goalkeeper. Can't have any complaints about that.
Jones just clipped by Tommy Miller. Free kick. Too much zest on that one from Matt Sadler.
It's a waste, isn't it?
Well, he said Richie Barker, didn't he? He wasn't quite sure what he was going to expect from his side here, given the fact that they've had 21 days without a game. They prepared for matches. They got pretty close within an hour or so of kicking off here against Preston before it was called off. I think over the large piece, given the fact that Swindon came here as the informed side, put to one side all their off-field problems, on it, doing better than anyone else in this league over the last 8 games. They can get a point, and it's a big if. With 5 minutes still to play, they'll be pretty pleased. They're going to have some defending to do. Thompson. For Aliu. Helps it on to Jones. Dumbaya coming forward in support. Jones winning the corner.
He's done well eventually. He would have made a mistake when he turned down that support from Dumbaya. Turned away from danger. Like he was going to get crowded out, but a really clever play wins his team a corner and allows the two big central defenders to make their way forward.
And Sadler tees it up. Deep. An opportunity beckoning. But, Swindon's rock-solid defence is out quickly to deny Sparrow. Hasn't been a match, Don, where there have been a huge amount of chances for either side, but there have been some really important saves from both goalkeepers. That one from Wes Fodringham, in particular from Proctor, right at the end of the first half, and that superb effort to deny Adam Rooney from Paul Jones midway through the second.
Key saves at key times.
There's a symmetry to this match in that effect. Crawley had the first half, got their penalty. Denied by a good save from the opposition keeper, and you could say the same in Swindon's favour in this second so far. There could yet be a twist in this tale, though. Alfred Aliou. Doumbia. A couple of the 7 new signings brought into Crawley over the window. Jones, one of the older guard, not getting that quite right. He looks at the pitch. Not quite sure how much he had to play.
It's an easy out, isn't it? One last push.
And that was easily out.
It was.
When you spoke to Jonathan Oakes before the match, Paolo di Canio adamant that he was just going to focus on this match, on his players. I wonder what he'll have to say afterwards. It's going to make interesting viewing, that's for sure. And all the reaction past the pick of championship goals after the full-time whistle here. And Don, you'll be casting your expert eye over those from the studio, I gather.
We'll be having a little look, yeah. Another entertaining day.
We're now firmly in the territory where a goal almost certainly wins it. Came down with a mighty thump there, Aidan Flint. It's enough to knock the wind out of you.
I just don't even know why Crawley are putting the ball in his area. He has literally won every single header that he's gone for. Keep the ball away from him. Towers above Proctor. It's an awkward landing.
The only positive you can look at there is that it's a nice soft landing on this pitch. Crawley Town changed. Sergio Torres will come on. And Jones trots across to make way. Really popular figure, the Argentinian. Part of the core of the club that remains from the side that won the conference and was promoted last season as well, Sergio Torres. There he is with his first touch up against McCormack. Simpson. Doumbia. Still got the energy to get round the back and fizz one in, and Flint puts it behind.
Well, he has been mightily impressive, Mustafa Doumbia. He has got forward wherever possible at pace, and this is fizzed into that near post. You have to say it's good defending by Aidan Flint.
He continues to do what you said about him a moment ago and win everything in the air. He's going to need to do the same here. Sadler delivers. It's over the top. I think it came off the head of Rooney, did it?
They're finishing the stronger, the home team, aren't they? Some may be surprised by that. They're having a sequence of set-piece opportunities. Can they make one pay?
Nicky Adams, you've heard the call from Fodringham. He didn't get it. Swindon have pulled everyone back, so the ball will come back. Here's Doumbia. Stolen by Ferry. Is there a break on here for Swindon? McCormack over touches it in the mire. Alfred Aliou, a little more aware. He falls over. De Vita. Sparrow. Martin. Ferry. Nice ball which Sergio Torres can try and capitalise on. Fresh legs up against McCormack, helped by Simpson. Hung out by Adams. And Thompson knew he couldn't really take a chance. He's put it behind.
A little bit of information might have helped the young right back out there. The ball had just crossed the line. Got away with one there, Swindon.
Thompson. Martin. Cut out by Sadler. He does have a little landmark himself. He's wonderfully consistent, starting his 140th consecutive league game here this evening. It's about to come to an end, and it looks like Crawley's return to action. It's going to see them share the points with Swindon, take their first ever Football League points off Swindon, or will they? It's Thompson.
Oh, terrific run.
Aliu, Torres, the two substitutes combining here for Crawley. Williams. By getting back at him. Oh, excellent work from the fullback, and that'll be that. A very awkward 24 hours or so for Paolo di Canio. Ends up with a hard-fought point here at the Broadfield Stadium. The first time that Crawley have managed to take anything off Swindon. All the previous meetings ended 3-0 to the side from Wiltshire. But the side from West Sussex were contemplating a first ever win in the league when they took the lead in the first half through Billy Clark. But Adam Rooney, moments after coming off the bench, levelled it up. Both goals penalties, both decisions which led to the penalties, with a little sprinkling of controversy about them. But the overriding story before this game will indeed be the overriding story after it, and that is the future of the Swindon Town manager. He said beforehand his position at the club was untenable. The fans are with him. What we saw in the second half, the players still very much with him. Is he still with them? We shall get some very interesting reaction from the Swindon Town manager shortly. But first, let's hear from a couple of Paolo di Canio's players who are with Jonathan Oakes.
Alan, was that a fair result in the end, or did you do enough to win the game in the second half?
I thought we created better chances, especially in the second half. Ads came on and he made a massive difference for us. We weren't winning enough balls up top, and we seemed to let it slip when we did go forward, but Ads came on and seemed to put a bit of hustle and bustle up there, and we seemed to create a lot better chances. And I don't know, probably they had a good few chances first half. We had a better second half, so probably is a fair result, yeah.
Adam, talk us through winning that penalty.
No, just a long throw. Mako just tried to gamble in behind, got a nudge in the back, and I didn't even know he'd get the penalty. Turned around to him pointing, so happy to get the pen on the goal, but at this point you couldn't get 3 points.
Having only recently come on the pitch, were you always confident that you could put that away?
Yeah, I'm always confident when I come on the pitch I can score goals, and scored a lot of penalties in my career, so I'm always confident to step up and take them.
We all saw what Paolo di Canio said in the run-up to this game. The fans clearly want him to stay. Did the players?
Yeah, we had a meeting yesterday morning, and he came in and he told us exactly what was going on, and said what he needed to say to us, and we said what we needed to say to him. But as we've told him, we've just got to stick together. What happens off the pitch is nothing to do with us. We can't control that thing. We've got to do it on the pitch, our business on the pitch, and go from there.
What's he like to work for?
He's very tough. You know, our training is, I think everybody knows about it now, it's very hard. He's very strict. You know, there's no straying off the straight line with him. You've got to, you know, stick with it and go hard, and if you don't do that, you find yourself out of the club. So he's very strict.
Adam, in this statement, Paolo said that he doubted that automatic promotion could be achieved now. Do you agree with that? Do you think it can be?
No, I think as a group of lads, we're all confident in the build that we have here. It's a great squad. Players all work, as he said, very hard in training, and the gaffer has us working hard, so we're very fit lads. We think we can keep going for the rest of the season, but the main thing is we don't pick up silly defeats like we could have done today, and keep batting away and digging out points, and we've shown what we can do today, so hopefully we can build on that now again.
Well played, thanks for joining us. Alan McCormack is the end power man of the match. If you could do the honours, please, Adam.
Thank you. Cheers.
And while they were talking to Jonathan Oakes, a very interesting moment down this end of the pitch as Paolo di Canio clapped and saluted the travelling Swindon fans, went up to every single player and hugged them, and he looked tearful at the end. A lot will be read into that as to what that means for his future. This is what tonight's result means in terms of League One. Swindon down into 4th after today's results. They sit 5 points away from those automatic promotion places, unbeaten now in their last 9. For Crawley Town, well, they remain in the bottom half of the table, dropping down to 14th after today's games. They sit on 42 points, but very much in touch with those playoff places and games in hand on most of the teams above them. Double helping from La Liga to look forward to this evening. Right now on Sky Sports 1 HD, it's Espanyol against Levante, and then it's Granada against third place Real Madrid from 9 p.m. Sky Sports 1 HD. Over on Sky Sports 3 HD right now, the World Cup of Darts continues. And over on Sky Sports 4 HD, the Phoenix Open continues. Day 3, Phil Mickelson leading. He's currently 18 under par. Podrick Harrington is chasing hard. Well, right throughout this game, the Swindon fans made it very, very clear what they thought about their manager, Paolo di Canio. And that sign says it all. They do not want to see their manager going anywhere. They're trying their best to give a flavour of emotion, but they will be emotional if he does go. He looked emotional at the end. And we'll hear from a former Swindon manager, now the Sheffield United manager, Danny Wilson, when we come back. But for the two towns this evening, it's been a tale of 2 penalties. And Di Canio happy at the end. But where does his future lie? It's been a half-full battle between Crawley and Swindon. A tale of 2 penalties. The first, McCormack on Adams in the first half. Billy Clark stepping up to take it. Emphatic it was as well. 1-0 at half-time to the home side. The Swindon Town got themselves back in it courtesy of another penalty. And Adam Rooney was equally emphatic from the spot. 1-1 it finished, but all eyes on Paolo di Canio and the Swindon fans at the end, hugging every single player. And then this to the fans who gathered in the visitors' end. Was it a goodbye? He looked emotional. It's a little bow and perhaps a goodbye. It looked like a goodbye, didn't it? I mean, reading Di Canio's mind will take an expert, but what did you read of it?
Yeah, he just looked there. There was a resignation, I think, you know, and whether the fans, you know, their support for him there may have changed his mind, I don't know, but certainly from his reaction at the end there, you know, it was it looked like a farewell, yeah.
If you said your position is untenable, it's difficult to see a way back, isn't it?
Well, it is, but he may have said something in the heat of the moment that, you know, he possibly regretted later on, and you have to say as well,
but it was very planned, though, because it's a release, it's a press release. He's obviously thought about it, rather than you know, catching him at the end of the match, where sometimes you say things in the heat of the moment. But he's obviously thought long and hard about this.
Well, he's wanted to make a statement, obviously, you know, to the club as his position, that's for sure. And but I just think, you know, when the situation's been put in front of him, like, you know, losing players like he has, you know, it perhaps he feels it's untenable. But again, you know, when you've seen the reaction to the fans to him, you know, and how they feel for him and how they want him to stay, he may have a change of mind.
1-1 a fair result in the end?
Yeah, I think it was. They dominated most parts of the second half, Swindon. You know, they got hold of the ball better up the top and secured it better, created more chances, obviously. So I think, all in all, I think Crawley will be quite happy with the draw.
And all about 2 penalties in the end. We'll look at the one from the first half in just a moment. This was the one in the second half that was given to Swindon. Was it a penalty for you?
I think McCormack, making an attempt and going to ground, made the mind up of the referee in the first one. This one, I just can't see it at all. It's so soft. There's nothing to it. There's no movement from the defender. I don't really think even Rooney, you know, realises that he's been given a penalty. He tries to recycle the ball here, if you look, and I think that I think it's a very, very poor decision.
Well, if nothing else, the referee's consistent. It's 12 in 24 games he's given, one every other game. Yeah. And both penalties this evening were emphatic, weren't they?
Oh, they're both well executed. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, the keepers in both situations had no chance.
Crawley Town's penalty that was given in the first half, did they have a better case for a penalty than Swindon's?
Yes, I think really because I think the commitment of the defender going to ground, you know, I think that is what will take the eye of the referee. But I still think it was, you know, it was a very marginal decision again, you know, and you know, if you're in that defensive situation, you feel quite aggrieved to have a penalty against you like that. I mean, you still look at it there and you think that, you know, maybe Adams has stepped on the ball slightly, got under his foot and lost his balance. But the referee, again, he's in great positions for both penalties. Because he's given one, it doesn't mean he said the other one has to be given. You know, but the two, for me, very harsh decisions, but the second one is a poor decision.
Paul Jones in goal tonight had a couple of terrific saves in that second half.
Yeah.
The second of which from Rooney was outstanding, wasn't it?
It was an outstanding save, top class goalkeeping. I think the reaction that he has, it's a powerful header. He doesn't really have time to react in terms of shifting his feet.
And yet he does.
But it's his hands that move, his hands. He's got his eye on the ball all the time, and it's his hands that move his feet. He's not really had a chance to move his feet, but his hands have been fantastic, and you have to say his positional play is spot on.
Did we see more of an attacking threat from Swindon in that second half than we did in the first?
We did, yeah, we did. I think the wide boys got into more advanced positions, and I said before, I think the strikers got a hold of the ball. First half there was a lot of flick-ons and not really much momentum coming from midfield. Sam and Ferry got on the ball a little bit better in the middle of the park and kept that momentum going. And yeah, they played much better second half, and they looked like they were going to go on to win the game.
And do they look to you as a side that are capable of mounting a long-term challenge in terms of promotion?
Yes, they are. I think they are, and I think Crawley as well. And I think you've got to look at the pitch as well. I mean, we've seen so many bad bounces and bobbles.
Was it as bad as Bramall Lane got a couple of weeks ago?
Not quite. But it's the elements, isn't it? There's not a lot we can do at the moment in time. But I think they manage it quite well. But down the centre of the park, it's difficult. And when you've got quality players of ball players, it's very difficult to get a hold of the ball. But both teams manage it quite well. And like I said, at the end, they fairly cancelled each other out.
It's going to be fascinating to hear from Paolo di Canio, which we can now. He's speaking with Jonathan Oakes.
Paolo, how would you sum up your team's performance today?
The first half very bad. I didn't recognize my team in the first half, but can happen because obviously we had today, four players with a virus. They didn't have a lot of energy, and probably they went blurry so easy and soon, and I wasn't enjoy. I told them at the end of the first half, at the break. In the second half, obviously, the enormous professionalism and the fantastic lads that I got, they turn completely the desire, the determination, and also with some changes, obviously, the game turned in our side in some way, because to be honest, even if it wasn't easy to play with this kind of surface, the team did the maximum they could. We equalized, and then we had also 2-3 chances for win. Obviously, in tactical way, also the second half I wasn't enjoying because we stretched too much. We considered to them 5-6 potential dangerous counter-attack. I wasn't enjoying. By in a day like this, when you start not in top of, and then you go blurry easy, is not easy. The fact that we didn't sink, we were in the game, we were nearly to win, is a big signal for me, especially in this moment, at this stage of the season.
You were clearly very emotional at the end. Was that you saying goodbye to the fans?
No. You go always with the players to thank the fans, because they follow us every time in numbers with a full of expectation, and the fact that they can see their team that never give up during the game is a very good thing. So I think they have to be proud about the lads that we got in here. Obviously, we are very happy and proud about them, because we can't say nothing about them, and then they are fantastic. But obviously today is an important draw in this pitch against Crawley. They were fresh because they didn't play many games in January. It wasn't easy. Go down 1-0, not try to play completely our football. The surface didn't help in the middle of the field. We got good quality players in Tom, in Simon. But at the end, we came back, and then we drew the game, 1 point. We stay close there, so we are very happy.
What does the future hold for you, Paolo? Last night you said your position was untenable.
About this. The statement is clear. Today I want only praise my player, thanks them once again, because I never had doubt about them, because they are fantastic lads, fantastic professional. In here there are not only professional values, but human values, which make difference in any area, in a social life. In sports it's crucial. So thanks to them. It wasn't easy. So another good reaction, fantastic commitment from them for player with the virus. So yesterday they didn't travel with us, but they wanted to stay here. We weren't in 18, only 17 with a kid in a bench. So, but I'm very proud about them.
What needs to happen for you to stay at this club?
No, I don't want to talk about this now. Today is the match day. I want to talk about only what my players have done until today. And what they have done today, until today, since the beginning of season, is something, I don't want to say incredible, because there are values in this team, but for many problems we had in the past, and now they have made a fantastic job.
Will you be in charge for the next game?
I want to speak about this game. We were fantastic, thanks to them. Another point there. We play Tuesday, another important game. We'll see what we can do. We try to stay as much as we can, close to the top 8 and see if we can do something special.
Thanks for joining us, Paolo.
Well, he's played cricket in the past. That was a wonderfully straight bad performance to both interviews tonight, refusing to speak about it. And these were the moments right at the end. Went down to the Swindon fans, clapped them. It's a little nod of the head as well. Being very, very closely looking at his eyes. They looked a little bit watery to me. He might say that was the cold, but it looked like a goodbye. He's not been drawn on it. He's made his statement yesterday, and it was a strongly worded statement as well, Danny. But come Colchester next week, would you be surprised to see him still in charge?
I'm going to sit on the fence, because I can see him in charge, quite honestly, because I think he was quite emotional there, and although he, like you say, he straight batted quite a lot of stuff back. No matter how Jonathan tried to get something out of him, he couldn't get it.
Did his best.
But I have to say, I think he's right as well. I think if he's got his business to do, he'll do it away from the cameras, if you like, and rightly so. But he has got issues, obviously. He ratified there that his statement was what he meant, and but we'll see in the next few days. But it'll be a difficult decision, I'm sure, for him. Because he's done brilliantly at Swindon in the last 2 seasons. So to leave at this stage, it'll be a wrench for him, I'm sure.
But the big issue, obviously, trying to persuade him to stay, if indeed he's made his mind up, he wants to go elsewhere, is the second equally biggest issue. They get it done quick, given where they're sitting in the league at the moment, and we're entering this crucial time of the season.
Well, get it done quick. I mean, if he sat in the boardroom there, I'd do as quick as I can to keep him. That's what you would do, because he's the be all and end all this moment in time of the success. He's been very pivotal in everything they've done. At this moment in time, is he going to leave? I don't know if he's going to leave, and I'm sat here without any knowledge of this. But certainly, if I'm a chairman, I'll be fighting tooth and nail to keep him. Now, what that will entail, I just don't know. I don't know what it will entail. Whether it's promises of more players coming in and nobody going, I don't know what it is. But certainly, if he does go and they do have to replace him, yes, he'll have to be done quickly. But who's going to fill his shoes?
Big question. Well, I guess Crawley Town delighted not just with that point, but with the fact they're playing football once again. 3 weeks without a game. Let's hear from their manager, Richie Barker, again with Jonathan Oakes.
Well, Richie, how do you see that in the end? A point gained or 2 dropped?
Probably a point gained. A top 3 side who I think there were 8 games without being beat before we kicked off. The best defensive record in our division. And we've not played for 3 weeks and had 3 people making debuts. So I would say probably a point gained.
What did you make of the Swindon penalty?
I couldn't really see it, to be honest. And people say it all the time, but he couldn't. He was that many bodies in the way. But you could maybe argue that they were both a little bit soft. How many times do we see it evened up at each end?
Do you think perhaps there should have been a throw-in for you in the build-up?
I thought so. Not because I could have a better view of it. I just saw the linesman put the flag up and point in our direction, and then he changed his mind. But apparently he was just trying to say it was out of play. And I've been told since that it probably was their throw-in. Just disappointed when you see him change his mind. But still, I'm over the moon with the players. I thought they were fantastic.
Swindon came stronger in the second half. Do you think rustiness was a factor for you?
A little bit. And people, Matt Sparrow hasn't played for Brighton this season. Jamie Proctor hasn't played for Swansea. So we had 2 players there who've just started their first league game of the season, and we're in February. So Jamie Proctor was struggling with a bit of cramp, I think, towards the end. So I thought that the players stuck at the task extremely well on what I can say is a really difficult pitch.
You came in very late in pre-season. Do you feel that you're really getting your team together now here?
Yeah, and that's no disrespect to the players that were already here, because to be fair, they've all been fantastic since the day that I came here. But I always said right from the start that until you get the right people round about you buying into what you want to do, then it's tough. And but that's not to say that I'm going to make it any better. We had some good players when I first came here, but we've got a good group of young players now. We had 7 players in the squad today who were under the age of 21. So we're trying to build something to stabilise and make sure that we go in the right direction. And I think we're starting to do that.
What will represent success for you this season? Can you still make the playoffs?
I think we can. I don't know the results from this afternoon because obviously we were preparing for the game, but from what I could see earlier on, there was a few results going for us, so it's probably just got a little bit tighter. But yeah, I think we can. You know, we're a little bit behind in terms of we've got games in hand, so if we can make them count, obviously you'd rather have the points, but if we can make them count, then who knows.
Thanks, Richie.
Cheers, thank you.
6 points off the playoffs, and with games in hand on most of the teams that sit above them. You play them on Tuesday night at Bramall Lane. What have you learned about the challenge they'll pose you on Tuesday?
Well, Richie's teams, as usual, are very well organised, as you saw. You know, they've got some threats in the wide areas, of course. Just again, they just roll the sleeves up and have a really good go, like they did today against Swindon, and you have to, you know. And they come to Bramall Lane, they'll be charged up for it because there'll be a big crowd again, as there always is at our place. And a lot of teams have been inspired by that, you know. But we know that, you know, our game is very, very important from our perspective on Tuesday. You know, we had a bad result on Friday evening. And we've got to put it right on Tuesday.
You had a defeated Coventry last night. How would you describe morale within the camp at the moment?
We're fine. Honestly, we're fine. We had 45 minutes in the game against Coventry where we didn't perform. Coventry played very well, being quite honest. But on the second half, we played exceptionally well. And to come away and lose it as we did, we feel it. You know, was a bit of a kick in. But saying that, you know, it does happen in this league, as you're seeing the tightness of the top of the table and the two teams out there. You know, there's not a cigarette paper between them.
Danny, really good to have you company this evening. Of course, wish you well on Tuesday night. And after the break, we'll be joined by Don Goodman. Our attention turning to some of the goals from the Championship this afternoon. And the race for second is hotting up.
Adams still going, they look for a penalty, they get one from the Cormac's challenge. He goes for Power, and Power does the job. Nudge in the box, and the referee gives the penalty. Rooney strikes and Rooney scores. You don't hit them much better than that. And Swindon are level.
So points shared, and 24 hours after issuing that statement saying his position was untenable, this was Di Canio at the end to the Swindon fans. A bow, a wave, and a bit of emotion as well. Was it a goodbye? He wouldn't be drawn in the interview. We shall see over the next few days. I've been joined by Don Goodman because we're turning our attention to the Championship now. And if you haven't seen the results from earlier this afternoon, this is how things shaped up earlier this afternoon. Birmingham unbeaten now in 4 2-1 winners against Nottingham Forest. Blackburn and Michael Appleton got his first win in the league as boss at Jordan Rose with 2, beating Bristol City by 2-0. Barnsley 2-1 winners away to Blackpool, who had Matt Gill sent off. Tom Ince, after all that speculation, got his 16th of the season. Barnsley, though, took all 3 points. Much needed win for Crystal Palace, only their 3rd in their last 11 games. Glenn Murray back amongst the goals with his 24th and 25th goals of the season. Derby, big winners against Huddersfield. Only 1 win in 13 now for managerless Huddersfield. Derby, the big winners, their 2nd win in 7. Mick McCarthy ill today, not at Portman Road. Didn't affect them. 4-0 winners against Middlesbrough. It's now 4 defeats in a row for Tony Mowbray's side. Leeds going down by a 0-0 against the leaders Cardiff, who've done it again. 6 wins in 7. Unstoppable at the top of the table. Millwall going down by a 0-0 against Hull. We'll look at that game in just a minute. Finished 2-2 between Peterborough and Burnley. Sheffield Wednesday on a terrific run. 3-1 winners against Brighton, who had Ashley Barnes sent off in the first half. And Watford just keep on doing it. 4 wins in their last 5. Vidra amongst the goals again. 2-1 winners against Bolton. This then is how the top of the MPAD Championship is looking this evening, as you were, with Cardiff still 10 points clear, but there are just 6 points separating Leicester in 2nd and Middlesbrough in 6th. But the gap closing with Burnley moving up to within 4 points of those playoff positions. Derby on the move as well. Bottom half of the Championship looks like this evening. Blackburn moving up into 13th, but they're still 10 points off those playoff places. Bolton and Wolves dropping. My goodness, Bolton. Big worries there at the moment. It's as you were in the bottom 3. So let's then have a look back in the company of Don Goodman at some of the goals from this afternoon. We're going to start with the goal at the Den. The game, I should say, at the Den this afternoon between Millwall and Hull. And it was David Myler who scored what turned out to be the winner. Just 34 seconds of the game gone. Capitalised on a mistimed back pass from Beavers. Placed the ball in the corner and secured Hull all 3 points. The interesting thing, Don, it was always going to be the question once Chris Wood left, how they would cope. Just 2 wins since he's gone. He's left a big hole, hasn't he?
He's left a big hole, and they're struggling for goals. There's no question that is their fundamental problem. And slowly but surely they're drifting down the table, where not that long ago you saw them as a real serious playoff contender, but they're quite some distance off where they were just a few weeks ago.
And in that fight for second place, which is an intriguing fight now, Hull keeping hold of El Mohammadi, they re-sign him, bring in another couple of Egyptians as well. Good bit of business getting him back, wasn't it? That seemed to be key. They got him back.
It was. I think it was a statement of intent as well, wasn't it? I think that was the big thing from Steve Bruce's point of view. You know, he knows that you know, this is the period that really determines, this is where the tough get going, so to speak. You know, this run of 10 games now, 6, 8, 10 games will really cement you as either a playoff contender or an automatic contender if you're in Hull City's position.
Watford, we were wondering all season, would they be a playoff contender come the end of the season? At the moment, they're in contention for one of those automatic spots. Let's bring you the goals from their game this afternoon. As Gianfranco Zola's side back in the business of winning against Bolton. A Sordell penalty was given. Daniel Pudil conceding a penalty, collided with Ricketts in the area. Sordell, the ex-Watford man, starting home to put Bolton in the lead. Bolton have worst away record in the Championship, but 36 minutes gone in the first half. Matej Vydra drawing Watford level, his 19th goal of the season. A real error in that Bolton defence, who just seems shot of confidence away from home. And Vydra involved again in the win, his passing setting up Al Mohammadi to score and secure all 3 points. Where would you stick Matej Vydra in terms of players of the season?
Well, he's right up there with the top contenders, there's no question. I think right from the start we got an early glimpse of him when we went down to see the Birmingham City game down at Vicarage Road, and he looked very, very sharp. And he's continued that run all the way through to now. And I think I like the sort of variation of the finishes that he provides there. He just bent one into the near post. We've seen him drive the ball across. We've seen him dink balls over advancing goalkeepers. We've seen him take balls around goalkeepers. He stays calm, he stays composed, and the goals return is phenomenal.
Do you think they'll last the course? Are they going to be contenders right to the end?
At this moment in time, they will appear to throw in the odd mysterious result like the defeat.
And often that's when Vydra doesn't play, interestingly.
Yeah. But by the same token, they'll go and we've seen them play very, very well against some of the better teams, so it's no fluke that they're up there. You know, they are a real threat, there's no question.
3 wins in 15 for Bolton, struggling away from home continually. This is now a relegation fight, isn't it?
Well, it is, and my old club Wolves are right there below them as well. They're two teams, let's not forget that we're in the Premier League this time last season. I actually thought of the 3 that came down, Bolton would be the ones that would be the strongest and make more of a fist of getting back up into the Premier League. But no, they've all struggled. Blackburn are just maybe starting to find a little bit of form, but Wolves and Bolton, really worrying times for those 2 clubs.
Yeah, we'll look at Blackburn in just a short while, but let's look at Dickie Freeman's old club, Crystal Palace, a South London derby against Charlton this afternoon. Palace really in need of getting back to winning ways, and it was Ricardo Fuller who opened the scoring. Peter Ramage down the wing, finding Julian Speroni, legs apart, and through the ball went into the goal, as you'll see here. 1-0 up then for the visitors, but in the second half, Dean Moxey's first time pass found Glenn Murray, does a mistake from there, and it was an equaliser low into the corner. 79 minutes, Glenn Murray's second goal of the game, snatching the win for the Eagles. Pinpoint cross, found Murray in the box, and a much needed win. 3 wins in 11, that was very much needed, wasn't it? Because they hit a rocky patch, hadn't
they? They had. They'd drawn a lot of games and then slipped defeats into those run of draws. And you know, he's a bubbly, lively character, isn't he, Ian Holloway? But I think even he must have been a little bit concerned that they weren't picking up results. Not necessarily playing badly, but not converting performances into results. And that is a absolutely monumental win for Crystal Palace that keeps them in the thick of it.
And they've kept Zaha until the end of the season, now on loan, of course. Interesting one on transfer deadline day. A certain Mr. Phillips pops up again with Ian Holloway again. What's the thinking there? Is that to give them just a little bit of a tonic, a bit of a lift?
I think it is. I think he is a very experienced campaigner. He's wonderful in the dressing room, and we all know he's goals. He's Mr. Goals, isn't he, Kevin Phillips?
Do you think he'll keep to his word and retire at the end of the season? Does he fancy an outfield 40?
I don't know. I mean, I spoke to him not that long ago, actually, and he did seem quite intent on retiring at the end of the season. But nevertheless, he'd love to go out on a high, wouldn't he, with Crystal Palace and helping them having a real good end to the season.
Such a natural goal scorer, Kevin Phillips. So too Jordan Rhodes, and he was in action once again for Blackburn this afternoon. Michael Appleton looking for that all-important first league win up against Bristol City. Been going well under O'Driscoll, and it was you-know-who collected the ball and slotted it home to give Blackburn an early lead. Blackburn, and he wasn't done there. Danny Murphy's ball over the top of the defence, setting up Jordan Rhodes. Showed some real strength And a wonderful finish once again from Jordan Rose. 10 points off the playoffs. Too far, isn't it?
Not necessarily. You look at the quality that they have. What they needed was a catalyst, and they've just started to find it. You know, the caretaker manager Gary Bowyer went in and did a wonderful holding job, didn't he? And then there was a lot of people very surprised about the appointment of Michael Appleton, but he's gone in, and he, as a new manager going in there, you have to get the players to buy into what you want to do, and you have to get your first result. Well, he got that previous week, and they've kicked on. So it's going to take an almighty run, but we've seen clubs do it before. So, you know, the unfortunate thing is, with the exception probably of Middlesbrough, who are just on a little bit of a losing streak at the moment, the rest of them are picking up positive results in the main. So that's what may make it a little bit difficult for clubs like Blackburn that are that little bit adrift at the moment.
Let's just finish off by talking about this evening's game here, in particular Paolo di Canio, who's inevitably going to hog the headlines tomorrow because of that statement and because of what happened at the end of the game. What was your reading of it? I know he's an emotional man anyway. You know, a passionate man, but the emotion, there were tears in his eyes as he was clapping his club supporters there, and I totally understand what Danny's saying, that maybe he'll calm down as the weekend ticks over and maybe think again, but that wasn't the actions of somebody that's going to stay, really. But do you think he'll be at Colchester in a week's time with Swindon?
It's very difficult because he's a headstrong man, isn't he? He tends to make snap decisions, and he's colourful and he's animated and so on and so forth. So I could also imagine him being quite stubborn as well. And once he's made a statement like that, I think it's very difficult for him to go back on that.
OK, Dom, thanks ever so much. So, it has been quite a ride for the Swindon fans with Paolo di Canio. He's led them into League One. They were hoping he'd lead them into the Championship. It finished all square between Crawley and Swindon tonight, but was it? Goodbye, Paolo.
What a place to seal your fate. A deserted car park, not even a day. Please don't tell me it's too late. If you love someone, don't throw it all away. Now the lights out, I discover just a weekend undercover. Tell me it's not over.
Watch all 6 Sky Sports channels on your mobile and online.